financial service company in the world. Everything in the world, commodities and securities, everywhere in the world, wholesale, government bonds, corporate bonds, oil, natural gas, you name it. If it trades somewhere in the world, we trade it. And Newmark, also public, one of the largest commercial real estate brokers in the world. When you want to build data centers, when you want to finance debt, you come to Newmark. So those are my three companies. So what brings us here today? In July of 2020, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency said that banks could custodian and clear digital assets. So before that, I didn't know anything really about digital assets, right? So now if all the banks in the world, remember, I'm the biggest wholesaler in the world, all the banks can custodian and clear, I better learn about digital assets. So I go on a hunt to meet everybody that matters. I met Sam, I met Alex from Celsius, I met every criminal who's now in prison, I met all sorts of people. It was unbelievable. I mean, imagine I meet the guy from Celsius, right? And he says, you know, I'm a new age bank, I take your deposits. And you know what he did with the money? He bought mining equipment. See, I call that a nuclear duration mismatch, which means he has mining equipment and you can pull your money out any minute you want. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Of course, he's in prison. So, and then I met the people who owned Tether. And let me tell you, at that time, there were all these media haters and all these haters, and they all said the same thing. They said they don't have the money, and it's a Ponzi scheme. So I met Giancarlo, and I basically told him the movie line. I said, show me the money. Do you have the money? And he said he had it. So they gave us complete access to due diligence and to see and prove that they had the money. Now, I would tell you, when we found the money, and we found every penny, and they had every penny, but they had it in what I would call pretty God-forsaken places, right? They owned Chinese commercial paper at the time and other investments, because remember, interest rates were zero. Okay, interest rates were zero, and they needed to try to earn yield, and that's what they did. So I told them, after we verified every penny, I told them we would onboard them to Cantor, provided when these assets matured, this commercial paper matured, they would send the money to Cantor, and we would buy U.S. Treasury bills. So remember, we're the world's largest wholesaler, and Cantor is a primary dealer. A primary dealer is one of 24 firms that does business directly with the Federal Reserve of the United States of America. So we are authorized by the government of the United States of America to create liquidity on U.S. Treasuries instantly, all the time, including during the pandemic, including during the '08 crisis. The whole point of being a primary dealer is if you need liquidity on U.S. Treasuries, Big Daddy, the U.S. government, stands behind Cantor Fitzgerald and says, we are there for you. We will provide liquidity in every circumstance. So I can tell you with absolute certainty, that Tether USDT has every penny, and it can produce liquidity on a moment's notice because they have their U.S. Treasuries with Cantor Fitzgerald, a primary dealer who can create liquidity instantly. There are no limits. No limits on redemptions from approved primary customers, meaning they've KYC'd. No limits. So I'll give you an example. In May of 2022, Sam of FTX had obviously done a deal with Circle, right? And he sought to try to destroy Tether. So he amassed huge amounts, $10 billion of USDT. And then in May of 22, redeemed it all in 2 or 3 days because he assumed they wouldn't have the liquidity. But we had not announced to the world that we were holding Tether's treasuries yet. And we met 10 billion in redemptions instantly, because it's no big deal for us. We deal in trillions of treasuries. It's nothing for us. So Sam didn't know it.